online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Who's gonna freestyle?
Not me. Not me, not today. I can't.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You tuned in to AfterBuzz TV for Empire Season 1, Episode 7. This is entitled Our Dancing Days. I'm your host, Bam Erickson. Please introduce yourself.
Email Ennis Jr.
Erica J. Green.
And I am Sophia Stanley. And I don't know if all of you guys know, but when I'm not here at the AfterBuzz studio, I actually am a lawyer in real life. So American Crime on ABC is arguably going to be my new favorite show, because think about it. What if your son was murdered? What if your daughter was arrested? Your child framed? Where does your truth lie? Our crime will affect lives exponentially, but it will also be the television event of the year. We're talking about ABC's groundbreaking new TV series, American Crime, which premieres Thursday, March 5th at 10, 9 Central. And of course, it's on ABC. Hello, American Crime, How to Get Away with Murder. After you watch, be sure to join film critic and radio personality Elvis Mitchell, host of American Crime Podcast, as he takes an in-depth look at the ABC show. Each week, the podcast will feature a candid conversation with show creator and executive producer John Ridley, the Oscar-winning screenwriter of 12 Years a Slave.
Well,
I know, right? Along with show talent discussing the latest episodes, characters, storylines, and other timely topics. Go to podcast1.com/American Crime. Again, that's podcast1.com/American Crime to subscribe now. While you're on the podcast1.com website, don't forget to check out other AfterBuzz TV shows as well. So make sure you guys stay tuned to American Crime, Thursday, March 5th.
Perfect. Well said. Okay, so Episode 7, Our Dancing Days. And so now the Lions family now have decided to take in little precious baby Lola. What do you guys think about this whole baby now into the Lion empire?
I think it's great. She's a child, despite anything. She is a child, and what child wouldn't want to live with a rich family? I know they could take me in right now. I'm an adult, but so I just think it's great. I mean, I think it's still part of a pawn to use her, to kind of help persuade people that Jamal, has a child and he's not gay, I guess. But yeah, I think it's great that they took her in though.
I have to be a little bit the Debbie Downer, so, and I could totally be wrong, but can't you go to CBS now and buy a DNA swab test and swab someone and send it and get it back in 48 hours?
Yeah.
And so you're arguably probably the most powerful person in New York, and y'all haven't swabbed her cheek yet?
Yeah.
They're not trying.
No, seriously. I don't mean to sound heartless, but literally that's the first thing I would do. Swab her mouth, DNA test. Is she or is she not Jamal's? We don't really need all this chatter.
I agree with you, because they were all, the whole entire family, they were downstairs at the bottom on the lobby of the Empire building. So between Lucius and Cookie, there's not one of them that could have had any kind of question. I felt that this episode could have left off literally right last week and got to the bottom of it. But now she's gone. She's back in St. Louis. She's a hairdresser, and we find out that she was a backup singer and that they were actually married.
Well, I think Cookie is questioning a lot, but it's Lucius who's shutting everything down. Because remember, Cookie was like, "Why'd you force them to get married?" And then they were like, "What could possibly be his son?" She's like, "That would mean they have to have sex, Lucius." She doesn't think that they actually did it, but then we found out that they actually did have sex that one time. But I'm totally on board with Sophia. Regardless of how cute, how adorable she is. I would definitely need some type of paternity test, and the fact that he can hire a personal doctor as ALS, he can get somebody to come in there with credentials who doesn't have their license revoked to do a proper paternity test for the child.
They're not trying to. Yeah. It's part of the ploy. Lucius is definitely in on it. You could tell by the look on his face, even when he takes the daughter into his home. It's not only is the daughter a ploy for Jamal's career, but look how it's bringing the family together.
Oh Okay.
So I don't know. I
Go
think-
one step further for me, Erica, though. When you say Lucius is in on it, what do you really mean?
I think that it was all a ploy with Olivia.
Do you think
letting
Olivia's
someone-
his?
Do I think? No, I don't think the baby is Lucius. I think
Wait,
that it's a ploy.
are you saying that Lucius contacted Olivia to come in there and do this whole
That's
plan?
what I don't know. The way Lucius is, he just seems so laid back about this and using it to further his game for him. It's making him closer with Jamal.
Michael's gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Then it could go so many different ways. Like, I don't know if he's really getting close with Jamal. Like, obviously he's happy that Michael's gone, but could it be that in this moment it's not a ploy? It's just he's thinking, oh shit, this could possibly be my son's daughter.
No, it's Lucius.
No, but hear me out though. Hear me out. It could be that he's thinking this could possibly be my son's daughter, which means that my son had sex, which means there's a chance that he's actually straight, not gay.
That's what I'm saying. It's all part of Lucius's. I mean, I see what you're saying in my mindset.
Meaning that
Yeah.
to bring Olivia back to get Michael out of the way, and that he could potentially have his little family with back with
But
the.
let's look at how Lucius runs everything else.
I agree, but somehow something's not adding up to me. And this actually I got from Twitter. So if you hear your tweet verbatim, it's from you. I just can't remember who it was. Why wouldn't she have come forward 5 years ago?
Yeah.
4, 3, 2, 1. Jamal has always been a lion,
Right.
It doesn't matter if he wasn't successful or not. His dad is successful. So at the end of the day, is it really likely for someone to marry someone, have their child, never contact them when they are famous, and now 5 years later, simply because you see him on TV, that's the trigger?
No, heard him on the radio.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Well, people do that all the time.
But the fact is, Sophie, I get what you're saying. Jamal already had money. He had access to money.
Yeah.
So the fact.
So what's
that,
different now?
So yeah, what's different now that all of a sudden?
And that she literally dropped off her child and left.
Yeah, that's the problem that I was going to get into is, so you want to bring Lola to see your daddy.
Yeah.
Then a week or two later, then you drop your child off
Yeah, I don't even get that.
in the elevator, and then you leave. Well, anyway, so let's
Sam's just like, forget it.
let's go forward now with the Jamal Hakeem beef and how Cookie. I feel that Cookie now is taking Jamal's side purposely, and she's saying a lot of mean things toward Hakeem when the two of them are at this beef. Like I feel like if the
I
two
didn't take it that way.
I did, because when she said shut up, I'm tired of you guys, and she was like, do you guys hear me? And then she went to Hakeem and she's like, boy, do you hear me? Jamal didn't say yes, mama, I heard you.
Because Jamal backed off.
Yeah.
Watch the scene again, and literally the minute she starts talking, Jamal literally backs up and puts his head down.
Okay.
He doesn't need his mom to speak to him again and again. So I don't know about you guys, but I know that when I was a little
Good point.
kid, my mom very rarely had to raise her hand. All she had to do is either look at me or raise her voice. I'm a grown woman now, and if she does that on the phone, I literally sit up straight.
And by the way, we both have Jamaican mothers, so.
Oh, yeah, so keep it 100. So I think that's the difference, because Hakeem doesn't view her as a mother.
Yeah.
So she basically was saying, okay, the first one was as a mom, you knuckleheads, do you not know what your dad has sacrificed? He pulled himself out of the ghetto for you guys. Stop this. This isn't playtime. And the reason she had to basically go toe-to-toe to him is because she's like, okay, cool, if you don't want to respect me as a mom, then you're going to respect me as a G. Does that make sense? And that's really what she was doing, was getting in his face and basically being like, so you going to come for me? Say something.
I dare you.
And also, I completely agree with everything you just said, Sophia.
I changed my mind.
Jamal, like she said, Jamal has that respect. Jamal's defended his mom. So in that moment, Jamal is more mature. Jamal can see hey, I'm being stupid right now. Hakeem is so immature, he just does not get that. And Hakeem can't even see, think about the bigger picture. This is investor showcase. The future of the company is in your hands right now.
But Jamal did start it, because Jamal did. No.
It's not even.
First.
It's not even. They have this beef. I mean, that's brotherly beef. But even Jamal can see that in that moment. Okay, I was being stupid. Okay, we gotta get back to this business. Which even Cookie said. She's like, no. When Lucius comes up later, she's like, I wasn't doing this. He was talking about the family talk or whatever. And she's like, you said some nice things about me out there. She's like, no, I was saying this because I'm about this business affecting my money.
Yeah.
So.
And Hakeem, I feel like everyone else, as far as characters, they're growing in some type of way, if it's bad or good, except Hakeem. He's still doing the same antics.
It's coming,
but up to this point, Hakeem is still the same. So I feel like she has to do an extra knock over his head just to make him understand stuff.
Well, I also wonder how old is Hakeem? You know, I
think he's like 22.
He doesn't come off even as a 21-year-old to me.
Yeah.
Now let's go into this. Yeah. Well, there's just a lot of childlike ways about him, and now let's go to Hakeem and this whole Camila situation.
And that's a perfect segue to acting childish. But
So
first of all, again, can I just bow down again to Miss Naomi Campbell?
Looking amazing.
Gorgeous.
Beyond, you could throw a phone at me. I would say thank you. I will be your assistant. No, not really, but gorgeous.
Right.
Yeah, don't throw no phone at me. Naomi, but.
Okay, so expand on that. So Hakeem gives the Hakeem
Well,
chain.
I think this is also part of it too. I think that the whole setup with the dinner and the fact that you have the chef there and the fact that the chef basically has to tell you, like, dude, like, something's not right. Chef Roble, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
I had a problem with the chef speaking.
Go ahead.
Shut your ass up. You were paid to cook
Chef
food.
Roble, though.
I don't give a damn. You were paid to make this fabulous meal so that he can impress his girl. So now all of a sudden now you Judge Maybelline or some life coach or something where you giving tips, like shut your ass
Trying to
up.
help a young brother out.
No, you shut up.
I agree with Erica though. If I was in that situation, because he said in his conversation, like, you guys look like you're on 2 different dates. Like Hakeem was struggling. Like he was struggling. I would want somebody to step aside and say, hey, you need
But the one thing that you don't do to a guy is you don't tell the guy in front of the girl who he's trying to
That's not
impress.
a
She was about to leave anyway.
Whatever. You know
She
what
was
I mean.
about to leave.
She
But
should have
no.
He saved her.
She should have. I'm sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I think ironically, Chef Roble really did, because when Chef Roble said that, then he goes, okay, cool, and that's when he goes for the present, right? And no, actually, let's back up. Sorry, I have to do this because people were talking about it online. Didn't you guys love when he was like, yeah, babe? And she's
Yeah.
like,
What's up, babe?
and he's like, oh, it's like, babe. Naomi rolled her eyes like into the back of her head. She was like, this stupid little boy.
But you know what? That's what your ass get for messing with a stupid ass little boy.
I totally agree. But then he takes it one step further and he literally, who throws a box across
Go
the table?
over there and hand it to
you
her.
You get up out of your chair, you go over, you present her with the box, you even possibly open the box. But then when she did open the box, the fact that it was a gold necklace, not that said Camilla, not with a gold nugget, but it said Hakeem.
Just ladies,
Oh my God.
what would you have done if someone would have given you, if you were Camilla, what would you?
Chunked it back at him. That was ridiculous.
Oh, see.
Like she said, that was branding her. Exactly what Camilla said.
See,
you would have kept it.
I roll on the sidewalk, so I would have kept it and melted it down and got the cash.
Right. Right?
I'm
For real,
sidewalk,
though.
so I'm about my money.
I wouldn't even give him.
Please. You never give the gift back. You don't give back an engagement ring. You don't give back jewelry. It has value.
It said Hakeem. I was done.
But no, I mean, I think we're having a laugh, but I think Erica mentioned it, and I mean, I think the line was very important. She's like, "What are you branding me? But you won't walk out in public with me." So it's not just that the nature of the gift is childish. It's not simply that it really is branding, saying that I'm kind of your property. It's also saying that I'm your property, but you don't value me enough to walk with me on your arm.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if I truly was your girlfriend, especially given the fact that he's a public image, he's a public person, that would literally be all you need. So that's how we do right. Anytime we see someone on the red carpet with someone, automatically they're dating.
But
That's
she's
all
been
you
okay
need.
with it. Well, what's the problem?
But no, I think her problem now is twofold. Before, he never had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
The fact that now he is or is not seeing Tiana. Then she got to see a taste of what it would be like to be in the limelight. That's number one. Number two, she obviously knows something's going on with Empire, and she's now everyone's aware of the IPO. So now she obviously sunk her teeth in early, but now she's like, I need to recoup on my investment. So she's technically, I think women kind of do this. I'm testing the boundaries to see where we are.
I don't feel that she has a right, because when she doesn't have a right, because when Tiana walked in and she said rookie move, you never give the girlfriend the key, that sound like a player type move. So for me, I don't feel that the relationship was at that level to where they need to be in public, because they both seem as if they're just knocking boots with each other. and that they can have their own little separate thing, because Naomi's character, she wasn't necessarily mad that Tiana was there. She was mad that you were dumb enough to give the girlfriend or the booty, whatever she is, the key.
See, and I think that it's because that symbolically means that Tiana is above her in terms of the hierarchy. She doesn't have a problem with you, like, boinking. I'm trying not to curse. She doesn't have a problem with you boinking girls, but she does have a problem with someone who comes above her. So presumably she has a key. Giving Tiana a key puts them on at least equal footing, if not more, the fact that they're having a public relationship. And I think and I think we're learning this, it's obvious that the secrecy of their relationship is not her doing, it's his doing. And that I want to know why.
And also,
right? Like,
she's, first of all,
she
100 years old. He's a little boy. Listen, if you act like a chicken head, you are a chicken head. What the hell is she doing with this little ass boy?
She sees
If
potential.
you are watching live now on YouTube, make sure to use hashtag ABTVEmpire, and specifically, if you are in your 20s, please let us know if you would date Naomi Campbell.
Well, I'm in my 20s, and I would listen.
She's not Naomi Campbell. She is.
It doesn't matter. She's still gorgeous, and if you fast forward to later in the scene when she got put on the list as a VIP investor, talking about what she invests in, like, she's somebody who's cultured. She's somebody who has some type of power and authority.
I get that. All I'm saying is that if a woman of that particular age, if you are prancing around with some little 22-year-old boy, then what the hell do you expect?
That's the thing, though. But he's not just some little 22-year-old, because even though I know he's naive, but they talked about, or Gabby was giving the rundown to Lucius, talking about what she invests in. So I think that there's so much more strategy here than just what we're thinking. Like, it's not just about, because she could date Idris Elba, she could date so many people. But
don't say
I did that purposely because that's Sophia's husband. But she could date all these people. But I think the thing is, she's thinking about the long-term investment and what she could get from it, on how she could get that return. So I think, going back to Tiana's situation, I think the issue was, like Sophia said, it wasn't that that they were dating or that were boinking or anything. That it was the fact that whenever he talks about Tiana, he makes it seem as if it's just for show. Like we're Takeem, whatever they're calling themselves. It's all just for show. It's just for business. But the fact that she has a key to your place, that takes it to a different level, because there's many relationships we know about in Hollywood that are staged. Okay. That's okay. But the way the nature of this relationship was turned into, the fact he was catching feelings, then it turns into a completely different thing, and that's why she started to get upset.
Exactly.
And all I'm saying is that when you, a grown-ass woman, are dealing with some young little dude, what do you expect? But speaking of relationships, we forgot to speak about Michael left.
Is it really alone, though? Because
no, I cannot give up. I mean, the fact that we had Raphael here in the AfterBuzz studio just last week, it is not over.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, so I didn't want to say this last week, but this is Raphael's last episode for season 1. So I didn't really. Sorry, it is. So anyway, he's gone. He's done. He's not coming back until season 2. But I would have hoped that.
Is that a spoiler?
I would have hoped that he would have. I would have hoped that it ended better, because now I feel like he'll come back season 2 with some big.
I just think I agree with Bam. I just need there to be more closure, because I don't understand. Cause I understand they were going through the rough patch, but he got upset because, and we kind of glossed over this last week, but he got upset because, I was about to say Lucius, Jamal did not claim him like he should have on it, or he said there's nobody special, those things. That's something that you talk about. That's something that
wasn't all.
But what else was it? Oh, the baby coming in?
No, he knew that he was on his way out, and he wanted to make an exit before he was put out. He knew that Jamal's life was going somewhere else.
I don't see that, though, but here's the thing though. If you think you're on the way out, step your ass up. Do what you can to step up in that relationship.
He didn't want to put the fight up.
But you know what? This is my thing. I don't know how long the two have been courting, but I mean, it's not a secret that Jamal is what he is, what he has, all the accessibilities that he has, and there hasn't been any kind of like pillow talk about what he wants to do in each other's career. So why wasn't something like this discussed prior to where something like this happens, and now all of a sudden that you're gonna pout and you're gonna leave?
Because I think there's a big difference. Think about it. Before he was actually happy playing in coffee shops. Like that was his world, and to a certain extent, that's where he thought he was possibly going to remain. And if he got, let's say, put on the label on a little bit of a higher status, it would be okay. But he never thought that he actually could be a superstar until his mom got there.
Okay.
Everything changed when his mom got there. And not only did everything change, it was meteoric. Because again, if we remember the pilot episode, he literally is singing in a coffee shop. He was brilliant, but you go from that to possibly being one of Empire's leading headlining artists, replacing Elle?
I get that, but what I'm saying is that although he was happy with that, I think that anyone always aspires to be greater than the coffee shop. And there has to have been some kind of conversation during bedtime of, well, one day I really hope I can play at Madison Square Gardens. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have conversation.
But wouldn't you assume that if we're in a relationship that we'll go there together? So, of course, they had pillow talk. But I would never think if we were in a relationship and we had talked about our plans, that all of a sudden when those plans were coming to fruition, you would start to back away from me. That's what they didn't discuss. They didn't discuss that, number one. And most importantly, because I presume that Michael probably is out in his life. They've never, I don't think, got to the point where they discussed Jamal being out in his life, because on some levels he never had to, because he wasn't a celebrity. He was really just an artist, and yes, he was a famous person's son, but in his own right, he wasn't a celebrity, in the same way that a couple episodes ago, the reporter didn't even know Hakeem's name. They know Lucius's name. Like, for instance, I don't know Puffy's kid's name. I mean, we know Blue Ivy, but that's like an anomaly. You know what I mean? But
Justin and Quincy.
Oh, well, there you go. But no,
Well,
doesn't he have daughters?
Yeah,
What are the daughters'
the
names?
triplets or twins, yeah.
No, I don't know.
That's my point.
I see him on Instagram.
And I think that Erica's point, and jump in whenever you want to, I think it's true. I think Michael had to leave before he was put out so that he could leave on his own terms, as well as the fact that I think he was making one last-ditch effort. When he said, I love you, but you're in love with your music, you don't have room for anything else, that was theoretically Jamal's moment to basically say, no, I love you too. I love you just the same. I can make room, or I love you more, or whatever it was. The fact that he didn't, and that's why there was such a somber look on Jamal's face, because Jamal knew he was speaking the truth. And he really doesn't have room in his heart for something else. And ironically, I don't think he should be admonished for that. I don't think there's anything wrong with there being something inside you that you possibly love more than another person.
Well, I'm sad to see him go for now,
me
but
too.
I wish that Jamal could have said something to fix the situation to where there's some kind of understanding rather than him just pack his bags.
Yeah, or they could take like a quick break or a break for a period of time or something.
I don't believe in breaks.
I don't think he was.
That's why we have all those on break babies.
Well, all right. So now let's go forward now. The investor showcase. Where do we start? Let's start with Boo Boo Kitty and Elle.
I was just mad. Like, I'm sorry, I was just mad because on this show, I think the reason why this show connects so much is because so many of the characters. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. So many of the characters that they feel authentic. Okay,
Exactly.
so when we're watching these characters, it's not like we're watching characters like, okay, that's Elle, that's Boo Boo or Anika, that's Cookie. Like, we're not saying on some shows you watch a show and you're like, oh, that's so and so, that's so and so. But we actually feel like this person is somebody that could step into this room right now and be here with us, sitting here talking with us. So when we're watching these characters, we get truly invested. So for me, after last week when we saw how Elle made that comeback, how Cookie literally dragged her from the ground up, took her off the drugs, like got her in the studio, had that battle with her to get her back, and how excited Elle was when she walked in, like she has the press, she's doing her thing on the carpet and stuff, she walks into the building excited, she's like, I'm not gonna let you down, Cookie. The fact that Anika had to play that move in order for her to try to beat Cookie out again, it pissed me off.
It was so premeditated. And she just carries poison around with her in her purse like that. I didn't even understand that, because that could have been a big moment for Empire too. You know, I understand that also helped the boys become into the spotlight.
You are so right, because
it seems so premeditated.
And also back up, if you notice, back up to when Elle arrived and Elle kissed Anika, and Vernon goes and Anika says to Vernon, she's looking really good, and he's like, yeah, no, I know, and watch him lean in. They're in cahoots.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean?
And Elle told Vern that she wanted to go to AA, and so then Anika said something like, we'll see about that. So she's already plotting. But, regardless of, I think regardless that it's helping build the empire, but the problem is Cookie's in town. Cookie is stepping herself back up into the empire, and everything is really all about Cookie stepping up to Anika's level, and Anika doesn't like that.
Yeah, but let's also I know this is going to sound silly, and I know it's just a show, but I am right there with Emile that when I'm watching, I'm fully vested. She drugged her. Yeah. She drugged an addict. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what side? Like, literally, this could be it for Elle, because Elle knows she didn't take anything. Yeah. Think about what must be going through her head. So now she's completely tripping. So she was clean probably for a week. Now she got her drink was laced with drugs. I don't even know enough about the physiology, but I presume she's really tripping because she was just clean, right? Now she's no longer has Cookie. Do you know what I mean? Because Cookie's not going to believe her. Now she's not going to believe herself. Right. To me, similar to, and I was going to go to another show. Sorry. When you can't, it's one thing. And I'm not an addict, but I'm a control freak. I can't even understand what it would be like to wake up the next morning and to either be hungover or to be high and know that I didn't take anything. Yeah. Because then I wouldn't be able to trust myself. Mm-hmm. To me, one thing about addicts, they know what they're doing. They may not be able to stop themselves, but they're still consciously aware, and they're consciously choosing to do whatever they're doing, even though that impulse may be something that they cannot control. At least they have consciousness of thought. Right. For Elle to now not only to be high, to possibly destroy her career, and now she may not even trust herself. Yo, Anika, that's cold.
And I think that's what was so heartbreaking to see when she had her breakdown in the restroom, because she was like, I didn't even take anything. Like, what?
I mean, you are really going in on Boo Boo Kitty.
She drugged her. Again, and I don't mean to be like whatever, and then we can take the conversation offline or online. But again, anything could happen to Elle now. Yeah. Anything. It's literally, it's comparable to putting a Mickey in someone's drink.
I know.
When a man does it for other purposes.
Yeah. I totally get that. I get why she did it, because it all goes back to the threat of Cookie.
I understand the threat of Cookie. I completely agree with you.
I don't even think it's solely on the threat of Cookie. I think it's a power play. Her trying to put the boys up in front. Her trying to show that she's stepping up to the thing. And I wasn't sure. We were talking about this yesterday. Did Malcolm? Did he see that happen? Why did they set that scene up like that?
I put that in my notes too.
In that direction.
I looked at it in my notes too.
I wasn't. I think that's why I think Malcolm.
Exactly, and it leads to so many questions. And the fact that she did that, it makes me question everything. So I'm like, if she's willing to do that, what did she do to Lucius, or what is she willing to do to Lucius to get to the Empire? Like, it opens up so many questions, and it's dirty. And I'll go back to what I said earlier. Step your game up. This is going to be our quote for this episode. Step your game up, but step your game up in the way what Cookie is doing. She hasn't done anything dirty, manipulative. Besides the drug money back in the day. But ever since she's come out, she's been Cookie. She's been doing what she needs to do. She's been using her talent, her natural skill to make things happen. So basically, Cookie is now, or not Cookie, Anika is saying, I can't compete with her, so I'm going to have to resort to illegal measures, and I'm going to have a team behind me like Vernon and possibly Malcolm to take this empire down, even though it hurts Lucius too. Like, are you not thinking?
I have a question though. Was it Anika's father who gave the information about the doctor to Lucius?
I wondered about that too.
Because I'm like,
wait a minute now.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Why?
Wasn't that her father?
No, and you're why? Because literally, and I said this a couple episodes when I made the Michael Jackson reference. Concierge doctor Conrad Murray.
Mm.
I just thought about. I was like, hold on now, wasn't that Anika's father? And then he was like, don't tell her about the money. Anika, come on now.
Really quickly. I want to just make point how. At the rehearsal, when Portia was bad mouthing Cookie, you brought it up, and I just want to say you were right about that. How Cookie caught on to how Portia is being a smartass now. So I wanted to just
and ironically, because she did that, Portia wasn't hovering. Yeah. Think about it. No one was around Elle because she hurt her feelings. If she hadn't hurt her feelings, normally Portia's right there, right on Cookie. She would have been there to protect her. She would have been in the bathroom because again, where the hell is Elle's handlers?
True.
Right?
Yeah. True.
So much we have to discuss, but let's keep it going. So now, what did you guys think about the actual investors event? What did you guys think about first the performance? I thought that I thought the performance was great, but I didn't like Jamal's vocals. I only liked Hakeem's.
I liked the song. I thought that they were. I thought it was. I mean, it's not my favorite. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't my favorite, but I thought it was hot. I like the MTV throwback. Like,
Yeah, I thought like
I like all that.
And I think also too, and I would presume, just given the high caliber of cast and crew that they have, and we've been to several events. The fact that we live in Hollywood, I think it's also you're playing to your audience. Right? So there's a difference between a performance at Club Leviticus when it's actually the club versus and or industry people and celebrities versus investors, right? Because arguably investors are suits, right? So you want them to feel cool, but you can't like bang them over the head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you still got to keep it kind of a little bit square. So I think they did the perfect job in doing that. Number one. Number two, I think they did a really good job because it was such a juxtaposition between hip hop and rock, old and new.
Yeah.
The genesis, like MTV really started. I mean, like videos, but not only videos. I think that's when music changed because when it's one thing when things are just sound, but that visual aspect of it, you're selling something, you're selling a lifestyle. So I think that's what they were strategically trying to do. They were trying to sell a lifestyle that they could understand.
And I think they totally nailed it. I just didn't like I didn't like the way he sounded.
Okay.
Just a preference.
What was the meaning of the setup of their performance? Like with the TVs, with the no microwave and the no
because
color?
of the lyrics.
Yeah, the
'Cause
lyrics.
And that literally, I'm like, now I'm feeling old. Because that's literally from the original video of the cover that they were doing. Yeah. I just outed myself. I'm like, she's young. Yes.
Okay, so what did you guys think about Lucius picks? He picks Cookie to do the speech.
Well, let's back up though.
Yeah, we
we
gotta
have to
talk about
talk
that.
about him having a moment
Yeah.
before we even go there.
Okay.
Do you know
I was
what
gonna say
mean?
we have to back up even
Yes,
before
I
to
agree.
the beginning of the episode when
Yeah.
he.
Go
Oh
ahead.
my. Okay, so remember he passed out,
Yeah.
and we had this whole scene with Cookie, and Cookie was trying to, it was when he was on the gurney being pushed in, and then they had to choose who was gonna sit with him, and he like looks, and then he looks, and he looks, and he picks Anika, or Boo Boo Kitty, which if I was Boo Boo Kitty, I'd be like, what the hell? Like this should be super quick for you.
But did you peep how their both hands are both on the gurney as the gurney's going? Now,
I peeped that.
Cookie hand had never left.
Yeah.
Boo Boo Kitty's off doing her hair.
Cookies was right here on the chest.
But I don't think it was totally just a diss Kitty. To diss Cookie. Cookie didn't know about what was going on.
Yeah.
Boo Boo Kitty did know about everything.
But then ironically, but then I think then you should be even more scared.
He should have took Cookie with her and let her know by herself. That's what would have been the right thing to do.
But would you leave the woman you just got engaged to? Be like, I'm gonna take my ex-wife in here and let her know.
About her as we could clearly see.
But we didn't know that at the time, though.
And can I say something? And I think, and again, to me, I'm a broken record. The
She's a
writing,
trophy.
the writing and the acting on this show is impeccable. And the reason
good.
being is watch the facial expressions. For him to be able to look at Cookie, look at Anika, look at Cookie, look at Anika, he didn't think he was dying.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Too much thought. If and when he thought he was dying, please believe he's going to pick Cookie.
Yeah.
Because then there would have been fear. There wasn't really fear in that moment. That's
Yeah.
why he's still thinking. The minute his brain is doing that, his brain is reasoning, and his brain goes, oh, crap, they may say something and ask me a question in the ambulance that if I have to answer truthfully, she's going to know I have ALS. When we get to the hospital, the doctor who I have hired may possibly say something that I have ALS. He was thinking. He wasn't on his deathbed. He knew he wasn't on his deathbed. That's why he picked Anika and not Cookie.
Okay, so what do you guys think about Tao?
Well, just the whole motion of him, and again, like Terrence Howard is just
He killed it.
killing
Yeah.
it. Like the way that you know what I mean. Like you can see the fear, and you can see he's almost like willing himself, and then you have that moment of like almost panic, and what happens? He looks at Cookie, and he goes to Cookie, and he's like, "Come here."
Yeah.
Just what? You know
Which
what I
is
mean?
funny, yeah.
Which is so authentic, but then she comes and he basically tells her, he's like, I can't talk, blah, blah, blah. Then she gets everyone else. So again, I think that's telling because to me, there he felt fear. When you pass out and wake up, you kind of think everything's okay. I know that sounds silly because you don't actually realize you passed out.
Yeah.
So you're unaware of what just happened. standing there somewhere and all of a sudden you realize that you can't speak and you were speaking 2 seconds ago, that's a different level of fear. And paranoia.
Agreed.
And that's why he turned to Cookie.
Mm-hmm. And now Andre feels that he should go make the speech. Boo Boo Kitty feels that she can do it because she wrote it.
And that was that whole scene showed everything.
Mm-hmm.
It showed everything about every single character in that room because every single person was so worried about who was going to make the speech. Andre's worried about the IPO. Cookie or Anika, like you said, she wrote the speech. Or I should say it. Cookie was the only person worried about Lucius's health. And the only person. Yeah. She was right there by his side, right there making sure he's okay, because it doesn't matter about the investors right now. Something's wrong with me. Worry about me. And nobody else was concerned. Vernon's worried about something else. Like everybody else is worried about something else except Cookie, which shows her true loyalty to him, regardless of what he's done to her.
And I think Lucius definitely can see that Cookie can step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Who just lets their ex-wife come out of jail and immediately be such a big part of a huge company like that? So I don't
even if he was kind of forced into it. But.
I mean, really, not really.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah, would she take all her sons down, threatening him? No, she wouldn't really in real life. But I'm just saying though, he knew that Cookie could appeal to the audience. Anika would have been kind of on her, I'm a little bit better and stuff like that.
No, I'm going to disagree with you for a second on the Anika tip. Anika would have, no, totally. Anika, we don't need to know her credentials other than the fact that she went to Juilliard. Mm-hmm. We see how she walks. We see how she talks. She speaks Norwegian. She could have delivered the speech. No, but let's be real. The speech is actually for the sidewalk.
Right.
So this is the only time I actually can't take anything away from her. She would have delivered the speech beautifully, but that's not what they needed.
No.
Right.
She would have been doing all of that. I can't discredit her in that way. She would have been professional. She would have done it. It would have been beautiful. But that's all it would have been. There would have been no emotion. There would have no connectivity. Yeah. And at the end of the day, when he said, he's like, we are selling family. This is about our family. This is about the family we built.
Mm-hmm. And you said the sidewalk. That's the important thing, too, because for the investors, for Anika to get up there and come from the sidewalk and appeal to the sidewalk, it doesn't show the company. Yeah. Because even Cookie said, the company started in the hood. Yeah. So in order for them to understand the true meaning of the company and everything, how it was started, everything around it, it can't be sidewalk to sidewalk. It has to be, look, this is straight up what's real.
And absolutely, Cookie was the absolute best choice for it. Yeah. And not only because she was there from the beginning, but she's the first wife who there's so much history. Like if you go back to Vicky Winans and Marvin Winans, at Marvin Winans' church anniversary, he had his ex-wife Vicky get up and say something, because why? She was there at the very beginning when they started the church. And Cookie, it's the same thing. So totally makes sense.
Yeah, and I think also too, it was so, and I think that this show is also doing something on a larger scale, because even in her speech when she said we made street mainstream and mainstream street.
I knew you was going. I knew you had that one.
I mean, I think it's because I think it shows the times that we live in now, where there is a difference, but there isn't a difference. Like I think that in the same way that everyone wants to kind of have an authentic experience, and everyone reps Brooklyn, and you know what I mean. That's kind of what that Empire state of mind represents. But at the same time, smart has also been cool, and that's why you can have a president of the United States of America who not only is a lawyer but was the editor of Harvard Law Review. And if no one knows what that means like you're probably the 0.0001% of anyone in the country in terms of your level of intelligence. Our president is cool.
Yeah.
Because he's authentic to who he is. He's authentic to the fact that even though he's sidewalk, he still has a little bit of swagger. In the same way that Jay-Z may be from the streets, but he still can put on a suit and be in the boardroom and command in the same way. And I think that's what she spoke to. And that's why this show feels real. Like, I literally was like, yo, where's my money? Like, I want some shares. Like, I'm in. And it had nothing to do with numbers. It had everything to do with the authenticity of what she was saying. The authenticity of the fact that, let's be 100. If you could build this off of hustling, and now you basically can do it legit, that's way easier.
What do you guys think about when the speech is made? Lucius then sitting next to his wife says, I love...
Oh yeah, the Hercules cup.
I love you, Cookie. And Anika is like, did you just say... What did you guys think about that? Anika's body language to me said it all. The way she...
I mean, any woman would be, or any person in a relationship that just got engaged would be threatened by that. That's your ex-wife. However, I'm going to take a different approach too, though. Like for somebody to say, I love you, I don't think she has any denial that he ever fell out of love with her. I think that as far as the marriage goes, that dissolved, but the love never dissolved. So for him to say, I love you, I don't think she could take it two ways. She could either say, I'm going to be threatened by this, and that means that I need to be worried. Or she can say, okay, she did a great job. She did what she needed to do. I can see how he's starting to think about old feelings and old whatever because she's talking about the good times in the speech. But I don't know if, obviously she doesn't know the gravity of the situation.
And I think she did. And the reason being is he didn't say, like, I love you, Cookie. He said, like, I love you, Cookie. Like, down here in a different register, in a way like nobody else was in the room. Like,
didn't even hesitate
nobody was
all.
clapping. Like, he was just like, that's my woman. And he was like, I love you, Cookie. Like, that means, like, his whole body, he adores her.
Yeah.
And literally, like, there is no way that Anika has not been noticing that energy. He doesn't just love her. He's always looking at Cookie. He's always smiling. Even when he gets angry, it's because he's always looking at her. He's always looking, where is she in the room?
And Anika not only, I mean, there was one point when he was clapping, her arms was folded and she looked at him, and then when he looked at her, then she turned right back around. So, like, she is completely aware of what's going on.
Completely. And also, too, and this is, I think, and we talked about this earlier on the first elevator scene with that rapper 4-4 or whatever his name is. To me, any woman who, to me, like, let me do this really quick. They were married. They weren't just dating. They were married and they had 3 sons. To me, Anika, from the minute she came back, should have had a conversation with Lucius.
Oh, yeah.
Because she came out early.
Yeah.
They originally divorced because she was supposed to go away for 30 years. That would possibly, you know what I mean? They would have been in their late 50s, 60s, blah, blah, blah. His life had to move on. Now, all of a sudden, the woman that you were married to and had 3 sons by is back. You don't question as a woman whether or not there's still love there.
And not only that, but after she should have had the conversation with Lucius, then she should have the conversation with Cookie versus having that
Exactly. Perfect.
silly
Exactly.
woman-on-woman kind of
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
They should have did
And
that.
if she hadn't had the conversation by this point, she should have definitely had it after she showed Cookie's cakes at dinner. Because after you saw those cakes, you know he's thinking about constantly. Continue.
Due to time, we're
No,
going
we have to do the last. We have to do a last scene.
Well, yeah, there's
Okay.
2 things we got to do. We need to get your thoughts on them knocking Boots in bed. Let us know what you guys think, and then we need to move to Andre situation. So, Erica, what did you think about the final?
It was about time. I mean, it was bound to happen. I think I've seen a couple of comments on Twitter and on YouTube. Everyone knew it was coming. So I didn't know it was going to come this early, though.
Yeah,
I was a little surprised how soon it came, maybe at the end of
She was surprised by how soon it came.
Sophia, what did you think about that?
I mean, I thought it was beautiful, and more importantly than I think we all have been wanting it to happen, I think that it happened because it was an extremely intimate moment. Like, she was in complete shock when he said that he had ALS. Like, everyone else handled it in their own variety of ways, but that's why I think he had to speak to his sons, and he had to have a moment with them, and he's like, I need to have a moment, like, your mom didn't take it well. And to me, it's because in that room, that right there was family. And I think that when they were having the conversation and he felt so proud of her and he felt so proud of what he had built, ironically, for her, even if he didn't know that she was going to be there. And then the way he asked her to dance. And
Lucius
I mean,
took advantage of a
I know, wait,
vulnerable
let me have a moment.
situation. Like,
He
what?
asked her to dance to his song that he wrote for her
Yeah.
versus you fly in someone who obviously is on your record label, who's under contract to sing some song on a piano to your whoever. No, he played the song that he wrote for her.
Let me just agree
He's
with you.
playing her.
That's really good.
Stop it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Emil, what did you think?
For me, it was magical because I mean, everybody knows I love Cookie, but like everybody loves Cookie. But once again, it's this authenticity. So in that moment, like they're having this moment, they're drinking wine, but then Lucius says, "I feel like I owe you," and I have the quotes here, and then she says, "You got to beat this, Lucius, because I can't lose you again." And he says, "You have me now. I don't want to lose this moment."
It felt like Ghost to me.
But the thing is though,
with Patrick Swayze, it just
I begin to question, did it feel like this?
Yeah.
But then I begin to question, like, I feel like this would have happened when they had that anniversary little rose, this is what was going to happen if it would have kept going in that direction. But like you said, it is telling that they can have this much passion from reminiscing to one of the old songs, just talking, as opposed to Anika and Lucius when they have Anthony Hamilton there, and you still don't feel any type of connection. So, and it was, I mean, that ALS, once he got to knocking them boots, the ALS was gone. He was like, I'm Cookie Monster. like, it was gone.
Yeah, and the laughing and the giggling, like that's intimacy.
I don't think if I was Boo Boo Kitty, I would have never left to Chicago after I saw my husband tell his ex-wife, I love you, Cookie. I would know. Oh, I almost said we all getting on the plane together.
Bad Mama Jamma.
We all getting on this plane together. You ain't leaving my sight. That's what I would have thought. But I felt that it was too soon. We have 5 more episodes left. I would have liked that for the end.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
But tell us what you think on.
But this is the thing is though, do we? You guys are doing a good job because honestly, I didn't see Anika coming back. I was so wrapped up in the. Well, then I'm a dork.
Why'd she come back so soon, though? Am I not a little confused by that?
Yeah, she came back early.
Because
I was like,
she came back because she probably had a feeling.
Okay.
Well, you shouldn't have left.
Now, speaking of feelings, we have to go into Andre, his whole blow up at the ALS announcement, and so now he goes off, and now he's in the shower. I mean, I don't like the storyline. What do you guys think?
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
You know, the thing is, and you know, we haven't really seen enough from Andre's character in the past couple of weeks, and each character is going to have its own evolvement and growth over time. But from what we've seen from Andre, I'm like Bam would say, so what, who cares so far? But in this scene, and the way we're seeing this, like, it's just think about, he is concerned about the company, but also he just found out his father is going to die. Like, his father's going to die. And being the oldest son, being the connection that we've seen, or that we've seen in the past that they've had, there's something there that for somebody who's bipolar to go through that, like, I think it was a powerful moment. And the fact that Rhonda, that scene in the shower with Rhonda was powerful because we don't really know what to make of Rhonda and Andre prior to this moment. And so for that scene, I think I loved it because in that moment, we see, no, Rhonda truly loves this guy.
And
it's
Leah
not
said that too.
You said what?
Leah said that.
Yeah. Because remember, I was hating on Rhonda. I was like, I don't like her. But in that moment, like, we see this true, like, even when she slaps him, like, it's all out of love. Like, baby, what can I do for you to help you in this moment? I don't know. I loved it.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I think what we're starting to see is a not a repositioning, but Andre, basically the news of this almost breaks him, right? Hakeem basically is like, well, what the hell are we doing this all for? Again, kind of a little spoiled. And then Jamal immediately turns to his mom. Yeah. So again, it's just telling. I think also, even beyond being bipolar, I think literally the thought of his dad dying, think about it. He's like, I always make an alibi for my dad, even when I don't know what I'm protecting him from. He can't protect him from this. So regardless of whether or not he's scheming or not, they're scheming, and I'm possibly going to, like, steal your phone versus the difference between you're not going to be here tomorrow.
Right.
Erica, what you think?
I thought it was a very vulnerable moment. I mean, I'm still stuck on the whole Lucius thing. How y'all go with Zoe and Lucius, but I'll wait till my prediction to say anything.
For me, Hakeem, I'll talk about it on Twitter, but the moment was ruined for me because Hakeem's bad acting killed it for me. I'm sorry. There was some.
See, and I don't think about it that way. I really think it's entitlement, and I think they're playing it right. Like I've said it before, like he's Justin Bieber, like, you know, metaphorically speaking. So I think he's a little kid.
Yeah.
He's not. He doesn't really feel things. He's kind of like, well, whatever.
And part of me thinks it wasn't even bad because if we were comparing like Justin Bieber type situation and seeing how his character acts, I don't think it was bad acting. It was kind of more like, okay, you're dying, but what about me?
Yes,
like
exactly.
So in that moment, it was
said.
like, okay, let me pretend like I'm sad, but honestly, Dad, like, okay, so how's this affect me? How's this affect my money? How's this affect my bitches? Like, it wasn't any type of emotion because of that.
Well, I'll explain more why I feel that way, but we are out of time, and so we will leave out on letting everyone know where you could be found on social media.
Erica J. Green on Facebook, Twitter, all that good stuff.
All social media at Sophia Stanley.
At email and it's Junior Chase Malay on YouTube and bestin.social.
And you can find me on all social media at Bam Erickson. We will tweet our predictions at ABTV Empire. We want to thank
as well
you
as YouTube.
Oh, on YouTube. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in next week. You don't want to miss because it's going to be really good next week. So we want to thank you guys for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV for Empire, and we will see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.